It's a gateway to another dimension, a direct line to demons, a slumber party game gone horribly wrong. You've seen the movies, you've heard the stories, but what if the true origin of the Ouija board has nothing to do with spirits and everything to do with businessmen cashing in on a national obsession? The real story is far stranger than any ghost story. To understand how this piece of cardboard became so feared, we need to go back to a time when America was obsessed with talking to the dead. Picture this, it's the mid-19th century. The American Civil War has left hundreds of thousands of families grieving. Amidst this overwhelming loss, a movement exploded, spiritualism. The idea that you could talk to the spirits of the dead wasn't a fringe belief for a nation in mourning, it was a genuine source of comfort. And people flocked to seances, desperate for one last connection. Mediums like the Fox sisters became celebrities, claiming to hear spirits rapping on walls. But these sessions were slow and expensive. People wanted a direct line to the other side, a do-it-yourself method for contacting spirits. And the market was ripe for an invention that could put the power of the seance into anyone's hands. The idea of using a tool to get messages from spirits wasn't new. But in 19th century America, homemade talking boards started popping up. And by 1886, newspapers reported on a new craze in spiritualist communities in Ohio. A board with letters and a pointer to spell out messages. It was a simple, genius solution, and that's when a fertilizer salesman named Charles Kennard read these reports and didn't just see a spiritual tool, he saw dollar signs. Well, Charles Kennard was an opportunist. He decided to mass-produce talking boards. In 1890, he and a group of investors in Baltimore, including a lawyer named Elijah Bond, formed the Kennard Novelty Company. Their goal wasn't to open the gates to the spirit world, it was to open America's wallets. But they needed a name. And the company legend is that they asked the board itself what it wanted to be called. Elijah Bond's sister-in-law, Helen Peters, a noted medium, placed her hands on the planchette. It spelled out Ouija. When they asked what it meant, it spelled back good luck. It was a brilliant marketing story, a product so mystical it named itself. The name Ouija was mysterious, memorable, and perfect for the brand. With a product and a brand, Elijah Bond went to the U.S. Patent Office, but the chief patent officer was skeptical and issued a challenge. He would only grant the patent if the board could spell out his own name, a name Bond and his medium supposedly couldn't know. And slowly the planchette started to move, and letter by letter it spelled out the patent officer's name. The legend says the officer visibly shaken approved the patent on the spot. And on February 10, 1891, the Ouija board was officially patented as a toy or game. Whether it was spirits or clever research, it worked. The Ouija board was now a legitimate product. The Ouija board was an immediate success. The company eventually landed in the hands of an aggressive businessman named William Fuld. And Fuld was no spiritualist. He was a marketing genius who saw the board's real potential as mainstream entertainment. He marketed it as a wholesome parlor game for the whole family, even a romantic icebreaker for couples. And for decades, the Ouija board was seen as good, clean fun. And after Parker Brothers bought the rights in 1966, sales exploded. In 1967 alone, 2 million boards were sold, famously outselling Monopoly for that year. And for over 80 years, the Ouija board was just a harmless toy. And then in 1973, one movie dragged it into the darkness, The Exorcist. In the film, a young girl's horrifying demonic possession begins right after she plays with a Ouija board, thinking she's talking to a friendly spirit named Captain Howdy. The impact was massive. The film cemented the board's link to demonic forces in the public's mind, a connection that was never part of its original design. The wholesome family game was replaced by a sinister tool of the devil, a reputation that Hollywood has embraced ever since. So, are spirits really moving the planchette? Science has a simpler explanation. The Ideomotor effect. This is when your muscles make tiny unconscious movements based on your thoughts and expectations. When you touch the planchette, your brain anticipates answers and your muscles subconsciously guide the pointer to those letters without you ever realizing you're doing it. And it's no coincidence that when researchers blindfold participants, the board stops spelling coherent words. The spirit isn't a demon, it's a reflection of the non-conscious thoughts of everyone at the table. And if you enjoyed this bizarre history, hit that like button and subscribe. And I have to ask, have you ever used a Ouija board? Share your stories. We'd all love to hear them. And the journey of the Ouija board is a story about us. It started as a tool born from grief, then became a blockbuster parlor game, and was finally remade by Hollywood into a symbol of terror. The Ouija board is just cardboard and plastic. It has no power on its own. Its real mystery doesn't come from the spirit world, it comes from our own minds. A blank screen where we project our greatest hopes and deepest fears. Y'all have a good night, and thanks for listening.